photostory3 is available from Microsoft as a download. It's an add-in to Windows Vista and Windows XP. It's been installed on the computers for you to use. You should be able to find it under the Programs menu. Start, Programs, and look for photostory3 for Windows. When it opens, it'll give you the option of beginning a new story, editing a previous project, or playing a story that you've already made. We're going to make a new story, of course, so we'll click Next. First thing we have to do is import some pictures, so we've got to go and find some pictures. I've got some here, and I'm going to take all of these ones in here, so I'm just going to press Control A to select everything in that area, and I'm going to import those pictures. And I actually want to get a few more, so I'm going to go back and get some more from this area here. So I'm going to have that one, and come down to the bottom and hold Shift is another way of getting them all. So I've got all the pictures, should have all of them now, and click OK. And so I've now imported all of those pictures from those two folders into my selection. Now in actual fact, when I look there, I can see that there's one that doesn't look like it's quite right. This picture here shouldn't be there. I don't need that one, so I can delete it. Right click and hit delete, or I could go and just press the delete button. I'm going to come back to the beginning, and we'll just click through, and we can see some of these as we're going through, or I can use this arrow button to let me move through. You can see this is a series of pictures of children working with little microcomputers. They're very popular because they're a nice child size. Okay, so we've got a lot of pictures here, and we're going to put them together. Now there's some common features that I can see there, like there's red tables. This one isn't on a red table, so maybe we'll move that one aside. So I've got 3 red tables there, no red table there, but a red table here, so let's move those together so that we're going to start grouping these in some sort of order. These children here are working together on grey tables, but that's not really a grey table. Let's move that one away. So these are on desks there, aren't they? So that's another desk. And what we're doing is we're just looking at trying to find some sort of order that these would fit together. And of course it could well be that we've got some that we really don't need and we might want to get rid of. So we'll just sort of sort them out a little bit and see what we've got at the end here. These are children working in a different classroom. We've got big monitors in behind. Here's our red table, red table, red table. These are desks. And that one looks like it belongs back over there. So very easy to rearrange where you want your pictures to be. Okay, now these are quite narrow. It's quite it will be unusual to be able to use those, and we've got an option of removing the black border, which means it'll try and zoom in on it, but I think actually that picture is really not quite right, so we're going to delete that one as well. Okay, another one there with a black border, but we might keep that. That one looks okay. Right, we're ready to move on. Okay, we're at the very beginning, and it's asking us, do we want to put an opening title? And yes, we're going to type in a title. We'll put a title at the beginning and the end, but not a good idea to put a title in the middle, because it does change the way the program works. And let's call this Computers in the Classroom. Now you can see it's put it in the middle, and we might lower it down so it's down the bottom there. It's a little hard to see, so let's change the color and the font. Wonder what would be a good color. How about white? Let's see what white would be like on that background. That looks pretty good, but where it is there, it might need to be somewhere else, up the top. Then the white is not so good there. How about we move it across to there? That looks like it would work out. Here we're going to be moving through. Now we can actually record a narration on top of our recording at any stage. So for each of these slides, if we click on the slide, we're able to record a narration right here. So let's go ahead and add one into that. Here are some children using one of the large desktop machines, and that gets saved into that file and will be played back later on when we get a chance to listen to it. Let's move on. We're now in a position where we can select some music. We could go and get some music off our computer, but we have to be very careful about copyright, so we shouldn't be using any music that we don't own or haven't created ourselves. So instead of selecting some music or selecting an audio track that we've pre-recorded, we're going to create some music. We're going to use this program to actually make some music for us, and it has a lot of different types of music that it can do. We'll have some sort of dance music, I think, and we might make it a hip-hop type dance music, and when that actually works, it plays a bit of music that will go in the background. We're going to grab that and pop it on. The music's there, and we're just going to make sure that music's not too loud so we can adjust the volume. And at this point, we're already almost finished, so I'm going to click Next. And we now have a chance to save the story. Well, we could always have saved the actual project, and that's a good thing to remember to do. The project is the thing that we're working on, and we would come back to it. It will naturally try and call itself photostory1 or 2 or 3 and have a .wp3 ending. We're going to call this one class computers, and that's our project. Now that is not something that we can share and give to other people. What we want is to have something that we can send or give to other people, and that's saved onto our computer here. We could actually attach it to an email message, but that doesn't work so well on some computers because you don't have the email set up on them. Let's save it to our computer, and before we do that we should always remember to check where it's going to be saved to, because sometimes we lose them. This one's going to go into a videos folder, and it's going to be called photostory2. Now photostory2 doesn't mean very much to us, so we can change the name by highlighting this and changing it there. But one of the easiest ways to do that is to click on the browse, and then it shows you where it's going to be saved. It's going to be saved into the videos folder, and now we have a chance of clicking up here to give it a new name, and I'm going to call it the same thing, class computers. But it has a different extension in this case. Instead of it being WP3, it's going to be WMV, meaning it's a Windows Media video file. Okay, we're now ready to move on. We click Next, and it has to go away and build the story. Okay, it's in the final step now. It's just generating some video, and now it's ready to go. So we now have the ability to view the story. We click in here to view the story, go back, and we can create another story, or we could go back and re-edit the story that we've got. Of course, our finished product that we've put into videos, if we change any of it, we'll have to re-export at the end. Here are some children using one of the large desktop machines. I think it was probably a bit too long. I would be tempted to go back and take out some of those pictures. There seemed to be a bit of repetition in there. So where some of these pictures are, too much of the same, we perhaps need to go back and just say, well, I could do with a few less than that. So perhaps go and take out some of the ones that are less interesting. For example, I might take out that one there. I can't really see very much with that one, but that one goes together with this one. Get it in the right place because we go from her to a close-up in there. So that would be perhaps a better one to have. And these two are kind of the same here, aren't they? So I think we really could get rid of one of those. So what we really need to do is make sure that we've only got the pictures that we really want and we really need. That's a pretty boring one there. Let's get rid of that. Go through and edit your pictures. Get the ones that you want and just the ones that you want so that it makes it reasonable. It's a great red table, but it doesn't really look very good. That's much more interesting when we see some more people. So when we are looking at our images, we don't have to use every single one just because we've got it. Of course, we should save our project. Same thing there. But all this does is save it as our working file. We still need to go back and re-export it so that it's available to see again. And of course that will take a reasonable period of time.